Hello and welcome to the Hub MT YouTube channel podcast brought to you by the European Innovation Digital Hub and powered by MDIA, Malta Digital Innovation Authority. Our guest speaker today is Abigail Aquilina, who is a senior executive at the Research and Innovation Unit at the Malta Council of Science and Technology, MCST, managing the national funding program Fusion. Moreover, she is the national contact point of Malta for the European Commission Joint Research Centre. Abigail also has a professional experience in the fast-developing pharmaceutical industry in quality control and employee training. Welcome, Abigail.
Thank you.
Abigail has started all this journey by having a love of chemistry and biology, which is something we share commonly. But look where it led me and look where it led her. How interesting, and obviously how vast the area would be. So I would like to ask you, what personal experiences or factors have led you to choose such a career and do what you do today?
Exactly. So basically, I started off with a Bachelor of Science in Biology and Chemistry. However, moving forward in my career, I wanted that basically I leave an impact when it comes to the research and innovation community in Malta. So basically, for these past years, I have been working within the Research and Innovation Units at the Malta Council for Science and Technology. It is a great opportunity for me to network with scientists, researchers, entrepreneurs, also understand better their struggles when it comes to funding opportunities, and it gives me a better understanding, as well as my colleagues, in order to come up with the most applicable funding portfolio in order to address these struggles.
What are the primary national funding programs available in Malta for research and entrepreneurs in the field of digital technology?
So basically, within the R&I unit, we manage the national funding portfolio, which is called Fusion. So Fusion is a series of programs, of initiatives, in order to address all the technology readiness levels. So basically, if there's a researcher, a scientist, an entrepreneur who has an idea, whether it is still at early stage or otherwise also applied, and wants to develop it and make it into something tangible and something commercializable, then there is Fusion. So basically, we have different initiatives. We have the Research Excellence Program, for example, which addresses early stage basic research. So let's say there is a researcher who has a scientific hypothesis and wants to test it, then this would be the most applicable program. On the other hand, then we have other initiatives which address applied research.
Okay.
So we have the commercialization voucher program, which is a great opportunity in order for researchers to check any IP potential and also the feasibility study of their idea. Given the outcomes of this initiative, then one can apply to a large pot of funds in order to develop their idea and work on their project, which is the Technology Development Program. It's good to mention that since 2015, these were the two schemes which we had available under Fusion. But since 2020, then we have diversified our portfolio to address all the different needs in the market from our end. So then we had also the introduction of the Technology Development Program Lights, which targets expedited research in contrast to the legacy CVP TDP. In 2022, we have introduced also the go-to-market scheme, which closed the cycle, since the go-to-market allows researchers in order to validate their idea and also take the idea to market, basically. This year, we introduced the Technology Extension Support Program. It is a scheme which is mainly targeted to the private sector in order to collaborate with the Higher Education Institute, build capacity, and also work on incremental product improvement. So basically, all these schemes which I have mentioned, digital sector features into them. So the digital technology sector, it's an area where there is a very high potential when it comes to innovation itself. But in contrast to other areas, it is also an enabler because, for example, let's take health, one can come up with multidisciplinary projects like medical devices. So basically digital projects can feature in all these schemes. It's good to mention also that within the R&I unit, we are also working on the thematic programs portfolio. So we have also been launching year-on-year schemes which address a market need or a market failure during a year in question. So this was firstly introduced in 2021 with the infectious diseases program, and given that we were amidst a pandemic. But moving forward, we want to diversify also this portfolio in order to form synergies with other Maltese public entities, agencies and authorities, and come up with programs, thematic programs together in collaboration to address these sectors. So it's good to mention that, for example, this year we have signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Malta Digital Innovation Authority itself, and therefore for next year, 2024, the thematic program is going to address digital technologies and collaboration with MDIA.
Quite a number of schemes, and obviously funds are always needed, so it's time to, I believe, move on the eligibility. Could you provide an overview of the eligibility criteria and application process for these funding opportunities in Malta so that someone would know what to go through? What's the process?
So perfect. So basically, all Maltese registered entities would be eligible to apply for any of these funding initiatives. All the necessary documentation is available online, so on the MCST website, including the rules of participation, as well as the application form. We launch calls during the year, so for 2024 there will also be a calendar available on our website which shows a target date when one should expect these schemes to be open, and calls are open for 6 to 8 weeks usually on average. During these 6 to 8 weeks one can seek administrative assistance from the council itself. We hold a number of one-to-one sessions, go through the application form, hold information sessions in order to make sure to guide the potential applicants accordingly.
Are there any specific funding schemes or initiative aimed at the supporting digital technology research and innovation in Malta, like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, IoT?
Exactly. So basically, apart from the other funding initiatives which were mentioned under Fusion, the thematic program for next year, we are working collaboratively with MDIA to come up with sub-areas featuring digital technologies which require investment when it comes to research and innovation, and AI and IoT will feature in these sub-areas for sure.
How can digital technology researchers and entrepreneurs in Malta access information on upcoming funding opportunities and stay also updated on the relevant developments?
Exactly. So basically, all the necessary documentation is available on the MCST website online. However, I do also suggest that one follows our social media pages, since we update different news and events and upcoming calls. And we have also an R&I platform called Plumtree, where one can register, follow up news, events, job opportunities to collaborate, matchmaking. So it's a very interactive platform.
No wonder. Are there any collaborative funding opportunities or even partnership with international organizations or perhaps other countries for digital technology projects in Malta?
So basically, I have explained mainly national funding opportunities since I come from the R&I unit. But within MCST, there are 3 other technical units. So apart from strategy and policy, 2 other units take care also of funding opportunities.
Okay.
So we have the internationalization units, which also it aims in order to have collaborations with international partners. So it provides funds for national researchers to collaborate in multilateral and bilateral schemes. So for example, there is an initiative in collaboration with Turkey, in collaboration with China, so on and so forth. And then we also host the national contact points for Horizon Europe in order to access European funding, since we have the Frameworks Program unit.
Okay, so I believe that there's also an interest for local people to collaborate also on an international level. because obviously these schemes would then be of great factor and great help to them for the collaboration to happen.
Exactly. So basically, it all depends on the idea and what they want to achieve from their idea. So if they opt for national funding opportunities within the R&I unit, it is in order to carry out their project in Malta or otherwise with other Maltese partners, having a Maltese consortia. And then when one opts for international funding or European funding, one is going to collaborate also outside of Malta to have larger scale projects. For example, Horizon Europe, the access to its funding, it is enormous. So one should also investigate these opportunities.
What support or resources does the Maltese government or other institutions offer to help applicants prepare successfully and also successful proposals for research and innovation funding in digital technology?
So basically from our end, we hold different workshops during the year in order to help potential applicants when it comes to proposal writing. And moreover, we launch support schemes throughout the year in order to provide assistance for potential beneficiaries, how to fill application forms, or otherwise, for example, to visit other collaborators and network. Moreover, since we do not carry out the evaluation in-house, so we are evaluating all proposals received through technical experts, independent technical experts. This gives us the flexibility in order to help administratively potential applicants. Therefore, we hold one-to-one meetings, go through the application forms, and make sure that we assist them accordingly when it comes to eligibility and also in line with the rules of participation.
You mentioned also the MDIA, and I was going to ask you, and if you believe, what opportunities or even if initiatives like the Hub MT will have a significant impact in these schemes, in the way people apply, in how can it help, how can it also foresee or influence research founders in MCST? How can this be beneficial?
Exactly. So we already identified the potential to collaborate between entities. So we are collaborating with MDIA, but we also highly believe that research cannot be carried out in silos. So one has to collaborate with other like-minded individuals, and also these initiatives which are offered by MDIA are crucial because they provide consulting services, they make sure to guide potential applicants. For example, let's take a startup which is still getting used to these opportunities and guide them accordingly to the different funding opportunities, because it could be a bit overwhelming in the beginning to see which one is the most applicable. Moreover, it provides high opportunity to network and find potential investors. So these initiatives are crucial when it comes to research and innovation.
Abigail, could you kindly share with us examples of successful projects or startups that have benefited through this national funding or digital technology research and innovation in Malta, highlighting the process they went through, their achievements, their impact, so that it would also help our audience to learn more, because many a time we learn by examples. So I would like you to share with us these examples.
Sure. So basically, also to give an example, from 2015, when Fusion was launched up till last year, we have dedicated around 4 million worth of funds when it comes to digital innovation projects.
Quite a substantial amount.
Exactly. So digital tech features when it comes to our funding initiatives. Some examples, for example, there's IoT Solutions Limited, which is a private entity that has benefited from funds under Fusion in order to come up with a better powered system, which is remotely managed. We have also Westrades Limited, that through the projects awarded, they have been tackling water scarcity. And also there's, for example, DigiClap, which is a consortium that has been undergoing different schemes under Fusion in order to come up with a smart wearable device to tackle cerebral palsy when it comes to children.
Very interesting.
Very interesting and also very impactful. And basically these beneficiaries would seek funding through MCST. We will guide them accordingly to the most applicable initiative. Usually it all depends on at which stage, at which technology readiness level this idea
Okay.
is. And therefore we start to narrow down the different opportunities. If one doesn't require a formation of an international consortium, then Fusion would be the most applicable program, and we will guide them accordingly when it comes to application submission, and also throughout the project duration. We will hold progress meetings and try to help them as much as possible when it comes from an administration point of view.
From your experience, what challenges do the beneficiary face along the way? Because obviously it's a process. What challenges would you say highlight their journeys?
Exactly. So basically, throughout the project is something which it's constantly changing. So at proposal stage, when they submit their idea and what they intend to do during the project lifetime, one would experience struggles. So for example, delays when it comes to equipment, and delays when it comes to shipping, for example. Recruitment. So usually these researchers would employ a researcher, support officer, to work on the project in order, for example, also to carry out a master's or a PhD study during the project lifetime. COVID didn't help, so it was one of the main struggles during these past years. But from our end, we are also understanding and also allow that, for example, there are some transfers during the project duration, since we understand that some things will shift accordingly.
And when obviously then it's a successful project and the funding is there, what's, I would say, the highlight of the beneficiary and how obviously they would accept something like this and see it through the future?
Exactly. So basically from our end, it's quite a proud moment when we see a success story, because there's something tangible, something on the market. And we were part of the process in order to facilitate its journey. Some researchers also obtain patents through these funding initiatives due to the development of novel products. And we are also there in order to assist them and help as much as possible in order to take it further, and if there's a potential, also to the market.
Exactly. As a final thought, what message would you like to leave our audience with, something that they can carry forward even after listening to this podcast?
So I hope that from this podcast, the main take-home message would be that there are funding initiatives which are readily available to be accessed. One should resort to MCST in order for us to help them accordingly, to guide them to the most applicable funding initiative. So if there's a researcher, entrepreneur, a scientist, either coming from the private sector or also the public sector, one should come to MCST, and we will find the most applicable national or otherwise EU funded funding opportunity.
Thank you for being with us. That was Abigail Aquilina, Senior Executive at the Research and Innovation Unit at the Malta Council of Science and Technology, MCST. And we would like to thank you for watching us today.